Hi, I'm Mark Zipic, Crocker Farm Auction. I'm here to discuss an outstanding example of Southern stoneware that we'll be offering in our upcoming auction. As you can see, it's a face jug. Very desirable form these days. And we know from its distinctive characteristics that it was actually made in the Edgefield district of South Carolina, specifically at the Miles Mill Pottery, sometime in the 1865 to 1875 time period. Miles Mill was founded by Lewis Miles, who was Dave's owner for a period, and upon his death in 1868, the pottery was taken over by his son, John Lewis Miles. And I believe it went until around 1879. So this piece falls somewhere in the 1865 to 1875 time period. So it could have been made under the ownership of Lewis Miles or his son, John Lewis Miles. We have a wonderful, very expressive face, which is just one of the typifying features of Edgefield face jugs. They almost always have a kind of pained or aggressive or angered expression on their face with gritted teeth. This piece is obviously no exception. We have these wonderful kaolin inserts here at the mouth and at the eyes. And one thing that's interesting about the teeth that you see on Miles Mill face jugs as opposed to face jugs produced elsewhere in Edgefield are that they're typically stamped with a stylus. So they just simply carve this. They kind of impressed teeth with a rectangular tool at the base, the bottom row, and then the top row is more haphazardly in size. But you'll see that treatment on face jugs made at this specific pottery. Pieces made elsewhere in the Edgefield district have typically more finer done teeth, and also have a little crossbar across the center. A lot of these Miles Mills ones, you can see on this example, there's no delineation between the upper and bottom row of teeth. You have these great eyes. You can see how stylized they are, bulging out of their sockets. And these kaolin inserts are brushed over with a wax resist. When it's dunked in its glaze, like so. In fact, a lot of these great alkaline glaze pieces from the south, you can actually see where they were held. So this has some unglazed areas here and here, as well as here. So this was presumably held like so. Dunked in its alkaline glaze, the wax resist would keep the eyes and teeth from receiving that glaze, and so they have that matte appearance, which really contrasts nicely with this high gloss glaze that's on here. You can see this glaze is actually a very nice, well-fired type. It has a lot of green going through it, and a little bit of darker brown at the shoulder. Another classic feature of Miles Mill face jugs is the very expressive, very different, very distinctive spout construction. So we have this tall spout with this flaring flange at the top. And so many jugs, non-face jug variety, some South Carolina dispensary jugs and other just simple utilitarian jugs excavated at the Miles Mill site have that distinctive spout. And that's one of the great things about the face jugs made at this site, is that we know exactly where they were made in Edgefield. So many Edgefield district face jugs are open to speculation as to where exactly they were made, what pottery shop, even what time period. These kind of ideas get tossed around a lot. But because of this specific spout construction, we're able to firmly attribute it to this specific site. A lot of times you'll see face jugs from this site and other sites missing parts. They'll have an eye that pops out. They'll have part of the mouth is missing, things like that. This example survives in remarkable condition. You can see there aren't even any chips on the spout. The handle's intact, has this nice, small, delicately done strap handle on the reverse. Face looks great. Has this bold, almost Roman type nose. You can see there in profile. The only thing that's really wrong with it is this chip right here on the bottom of the mouth, which is really negligible for this form. I mean, we would still certainly describe it as an excellent condition. I think there might be some very mild chipping somewhere else. Yeah, on the edge of the ears, which you can really barely see. I don't even think that's going to film well. So you have this great squat-shaped form, excellent rim construction, really jazzy and expressive in its shape. You can see just how wide that spout is, very different in American utilitarian pottery from the 19th century. We have a wonderful glaze that fired to maturity with a great luster to it. Very folky face and wonderful condition. This, in our opinion, we've sold a number of Miles Mill face jugs over the years, but this, in our opinion, is the best example that we've ever handled. It recently surfaced in the Mid-Atlantic, United States, and we're very excited to offer it in our upcoming sale.